It is roster update prediction time. The newest roster updates, roster update number 7, is going to be coming out on Thursday. And what I do every single time is I'm like, yo, what players need massive upgrade changes? I'm going to cover that in today's video. Get pasa to the pack, it's pack here. Before the video starts, please be an OG. Join the pack, subscribe, and leave a like on the video. If you like this kind of content, I do rating stuff all the time, so be sure if you can join up, okay? So, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to the roster. I'm gonna give you the names that I think need massive changes immediately because there's some players that are really better lately. For example, Joel Embiid, right? He has a 95 overall. Don't get me wrong, that's a hella good rating, right? That's amazing rating. This dude is in top 3 MVP voting conversation right now, right? Like, he's playing so well. He dropped a 50 piece the other night and then a 40 piece the next night. He's been averaging, I think, 38 points in the past 5 games. The team roster-wise right now without Ben Simmons isn't really good, and they're kind of doing okay anyways because Joel Embiid is hard carrying, bro. Because of that, Joel Embiid, I believe, is at least 96 overall, and you can even make the argument, as of today, he could even be like a 97. I think you make him a 96, and then if he continues to do this, the roster update 8, right, the 8th one, then he becomes a 97 overall. I mean, for real, easily. The next team is the Milwaukee Bucks. I think Chris Middleton deserves a higher rating again. So Giannis is doing his thing, obviously, no doubt. Jrue Holiday's kind of been up and down lately, out of nowhere, but the consistent player has been Chris Middleton. So at the beginning of the season, actually the first 30 to 40 games, it's been Jrue Holiday, in my opinion. I think he's been fantastic. Chris Middleton's finally picking it up again, and I think that he needs to be tied as the second best player on the team. This one's not a big one. I'm not saying this one needs to happen right now. I just feel that Chris Middleton is in that conversation. He's been the second best player for a couple years now. I still think he's in that role, and I think that should be the case. I think statistically, I think play-wise, I still don't think he's been fantastic this season, but I think he's still been about the second best player, I feel. Now for the Bulls, this one I have an opinion about for a lot of reasons, and that's Vooch, okay? Vooch needs to go up, and he needs to go up a lot. There's a lot of reasons, not only because of his recent play. The last 5 games he's been fantastic. I think he's averaging 20 points and I think it's been 15 rebounds a game in the last 5 games, right? So he's been fantastic, right? That's not the reason. Levine's out, Lonzo's out, and now Alex Caruso is out, making him the second best player on this team for the moment by far. Now his role is going to have to go even higher, right? Because Kobe White's been pretty good, and so is Ayo, right? So these players have been pretty good, but Vooch is the player that's going to get a lot of attention now and a lot of opportunity to score, and we know he can do that with the Magic when he was an 87 overall with the Magic, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if Vooch goes up to an 85 in the next couple days because DeMar is not going to be the only one eating. Someone else is going to have to eat, and it's going to be Vooch. There's no one else, right? Someone's going to have to do it, so it's him, right? That's just obvious to me. Now, for the next player, I think pretty obviously is Deandre Hunter. The Hawks have been so weird, but they did this last year, right? Last year they had all this talent, and everyone was at the middle of the season, they were what are the Hawks doing? Why aren't they winning? Then they changed coaches, and then they made it to the conference finals, right? So you know how that went, right? Clint Capela's, I think, has been pretty decent. John Collins has been super consistent, same as Gallinari. Obviously, the only person that's been super good is Trae Young. He's been fantastic offensively, right? So there's no denying his greatness. But I think DeAndre Hunter in the past 5 games has been pretty damn good, right? So, scoring-wise, he's been the most consistent, second. I mean, he's been averaging 16 points, but he's the only person who's getting 16 every single night, right? And defensively, we know he's a defensive presence, right? So I'm going to say 80 overall. I think at least the 4th best player, and he's been pretty consistent. So I feel at least an 80 overall, I think. I could be wrong, but I think he's going to go up a lot, I feel. Now, this next player is actually 2 players on the Hornets. I think this is a really important one. I think this one's by far obvious. Miles Bridges and Scary Terry. So LaMelo Ball has been fantastic this season. I think he has been the best player. Scoring wise, he's been inconsistent, but this dude almost gets a triple-double every night. He's been fantastic, right? He's a great playmaker. He's a big reason the team is winning, right? However, Miles Bridges at the beginning of the season was amazing. Then he slowed down, but I had said this. I don't know if you guys remember me saying this. I was like, yes, is he slowing down? Yes, but this is what always happens when a player breaks out, right? The beginning of the season, they go off, then teams adjust to the player, and then later in the season, the player starts to learn how to score again, right? Because again, players are like adjusting to him, so he has to adjust to the adjustment, right? And he's doing good again. He's averaging, I think, 23 in the last 5 games. Crazy rebound numbers. I mean, he's an amazing athlete. Like, he's been the second best player on this team, but barely. You could argue he's been the best player. I think he needs to be 85 overall straight up because this team has been winning. Y'all need to remember that the Hornets are legit this season because of Miles Bridges and because of Terry Rozier. Remember, Terry Rozier wasn't a part of the roster for the first couple games, but now later in the season, he came out of the gate averaging like 25, but we were like, that's not going to happen for the whole season. But guess what? It has. The last 5 games, he's still averaging 24. He's been amazing. Like, he's just... I know it's a shot creator, and it's easy for me to be like, well, he's a shot creator. But this guy can get a bucket from anywhere. Like, yes, is that all he's good at? Sure. But he can score for real and efficiently. Like, he's serious, bro. Terry Rozier, I remember when people were memeing that, like, all the Hornets getting Terry Rozier, Michael Jordan stays taking L's. But, like, I don't know. He's been dirty ever since he got to the Hornets, like, for real. So, I think Terry Rozier will go to 84 as the 3rd best player for sure. And then Miles Bridges needs to be the 2nd best player by far. So, 85 at least, right? I think the Hornets are legit, bro. They need higher ratings because this team should be way more fun to use in 2K, but the ratings aren't high enough. But, like, for real, this team is nasty, right? Now, for the Nets, I have someone that I want to apologize to, James Harden, right? So KD's been out, and Kyrie's kind of been back for, I think it's away games, right? So James Harden's the one that's been kind of having to carry this team, and the Nets are still winning. They're still playing well. With a roster, again, like Patty Mills and LaMarcus are like the only other 2, like, significant players. And yet James Harden is finding a way to win games still, because even without Kyrie sometimes, even without Kevin Durant, like, he's still playing out of his mind because James Harden's like that. He's being efficient again, finally. He's an amazing playmaker. He's a crazy shot creator. We know what James Harden can do, and now we're seeing it again. James Harden should never have that low of a rating. I think it's going to go up to like a 91. I'd even argue he should have the 2nd highest rating to a 92, especially because he's been there for the Nets, at least. Unlike somebody, just saying, I know I'm sounding like a hater, but like, I hate... It's bad for basketball if the Nets win a championship this season with Kyrie Irving just not wanting to play, right? Just keeping it real. But whatever. Besides that, ignoring my opinions, right? James Harden has been good lately. He needs to go up, right? Much about this for the Pacers, Karis LeVert. He has been the best scorer for the past 5 games. In fact, the past 10 games, he's been averaging, I think, 25 points in the past 10 games. And the Pacers are starting to look a little better. Ever since they got Lance Stevenson, they've been looking a lot better. It's kind of funny. But Karis LeVert has been the best scorer on the team. So take that as you may. Just because you're the best scorer doesn't mean you're the most, like, the highest rating. But to be honest with you, if you're the best scorer, I've never seen the best scorer on a team not at least be the 2nd highest rated player. So an extreme opinion, I think Karis LeVert should be an 84 overall if he continues to play this way. But he's been nasty, and the Pacers are looking better, and like they're starting to look like they could be a play-in team at least. So yeah, I officially say that Karis LeVert needs to be 84 overall. I know it's a lot, but I think so. For the Raptors, kind of the same thing I'm thinking with Karis, with Pascal Siakam. I know Fred VanVleet's been playing nasty, but in the last 5 games, Siakam's been the man. He's been consistent, right? I mean, the Raptors are looking like they're going to win games again. They're looking like they're making a playoff push again. And Siakam's been that guy. And he's been supposed to be the guy. Like, he's supposed to be the best player on this team. Whenever the finals happened, and he was averaging 20 points a game in the finals, we were all like, yeah, Kawhi's amazing, but we knew Kawhi was going to leave, right? We knew that Pascal was supposed to be the best player on this team. And lately, I feel that he has been. He's a little better. So I'm going to say 86 overall and tie him with Fred. I think that's fair. I think it's right. I think so. You know, I think I'm going to take the most time right here with Devin Booker on the Phoenix Suns. Okay, rant time. Y'all know I like to rant about specific things, and I've mentioned this before. The Devin Booker, Chris Paul dilemma, right? So for the past 2 years, Chris Paul and Devin Booker have had the same rating. They've been tied, right? And I've said, why is Chris Paul having the same rating as Devin Booker? Now, this is the first time 2K listened, and they gave Devin Booker a +2. So now Devin Booker is the best player on this team, right? But Chris Paul is still like 6th in MVP votes, right? Or at least like the Kia ladder, right? So they still consider him better than Devin Booker when Devin Booker's not even in the MVP conversation, right? This is the best team record-wise in the NBA, right? Devin Booker in the last 5 games is averaging 35 freaking points, extreme efficiency, and getting decent rebounds, and playmaking here and there. He makes every shot, like he's a shot creator. Name me another player could average 35 in a month, right? Has the best record in the NBA, playing extremely efficiently, and is not at least like a 94, right? Like name me another person. It's like for whatever reason we're saying, oh, it's just because of Chris Paul. It's so weird. Devin Booker's going off, and it's like we're treating it like Chris Paul's the only reason. I don't get it. Devin Booker is the best player on the Suns. Devin Booker is the best scorer on the Suns. Devin Booker is the reason the Suns are in the position they are today because he is a problem offensively, right? This dude's a 90. If he's not at least a 93, I think something's wrong because he's a superstar right now. They made it to the finals last season, and they had the best record in the NBA, and he's going off. This is the signs. This is the checklist of what a 94 overall is. So I don't know what we're waiting for. Devin Booker is the best player on this team by a margin. Give him the rating he deserves. Easy. Now for the Trailblazers, this one's a weird one. So Damian Lillard's got hurt. The Blazers have been struggling all season, right? But ever since he got hurt and CJ came back, Nurkic has been going off. He's averaging 23 and like 16 rebounds in the last like 10 games. It's insane. Nurkic is going out of his mind lately, and he did this a couple seasons ago. So it's weird. He like has stretches, so it's not like rare, but like he's been the best player on the Pacers. Well, sorry, the Blazers. Goodness, ever since the injury for Dame and Simons. Now, I'm not, I've already mentioned it. I'm not going to try to keep bragging, but I said Simons is going to be nasty. He's been averaging 28 points in the last 10 games. He has been amazing. He's playing like a superstar, bro. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he needs an over-exaggerated, extreme higher rating, but he should be like an 82 overall at the minimum. And he's probably should be even higher, but I don't want to overreact with him because he's getting more minutes and getting more opportunity, which is why his stats are going up. But you can't say he's getting empty stats because the Blazers have been winning a little more lately. So they're winning and he's playing well. You could argue he should be like an 85 overall, but let's say like 83 to start off, right? Last player to talk about, I don't want to go too deep, is Kuzma. All I'm saying is that Kuzma should be a little higher. It's like an 83 overall. He's been the most consistent player in the Wizards outside of Beal. The Wizards are like a borderline playoff team right now, and Kuzma's been good. So I think he should be like an 83. That's it. I'm not saying like a much bigger rating, just a little higher, okay? That's it. That's my opinion about, I know some of them are stronger than others, but let me know what you think in the comments below. If you like the channel, please give it a sub, and I'll see you guys next time.